what they need to do. Look, I've never been in a lot of these situations that are occurring now, and the only situation like that I was ever involved in was when I was a student at Kent State, and the National Guard was there, and we had an unfortunate incident. So how people respond and how people react to that, I think, is an individual thing, and I would do the best I could to try to understand why a player wanted to do that. I do think that everyone's entitled to individual differences and believing in what they want to believe in. I really do. We have never used our team here to demonstrate that myself. You never heard me comment politically on anything, and I think it's, we try to keep things to be team things and for guys to respect that part of what we do.
Do you think it was important for Jeremy Pruitt to go out on his own as a defensive coordinator, and how, if at all, has he evolved since he was first on staff here till now?
Well, I think anytime someone gains experience doing the job that they're now sort of in charge of, that knowledge and experience is always beneficial to someone, and I don't think there's any question about the fact that being a coordinator someplace else away from here probably gave Jeremy a lot of that experience, and I think it helps him do a good job for us, and he's done a really good job for us so far this year, and I want to continue to support him and help him do that.
On the other side with John Cena.
You can kind of look at this from the NFL and the college perspective, but as far as evaluating quarterbacks, how hard is that compared to other positions?
Well, I've commented on this in the past that I think quarterback is one of the most difficult positions to evaluate. I don't think it's hard to evaluate the physical skills that's required to play the position, but I think some of the most important things in playing quarterback is decision-making, judgment, timing, leadership, accuracy under pressure, and those things are much more difficult to evaluate until a player is actually called upon to do that in your particular system, even in some cases. So this is probably why there's more mistakes made on quarterbacks picked in the first round than anything else in the NFL. And I think you have to have the right stuff to play the position. You're distributing the ball every play. And that right stuff part of this requires physical ability, but it also gets into sort of the mental makeup, judgment, decision-making, processing information, making quick decisions that go a long way to making a guy an effective quarterback.
Thank you, Coach. It may be an oversimplification to say that Arkansas is a team that likes to line up, run it, play smash mouth, whatever, but how do they test your defensive line, and particularly your depth on the defensive line?
Well, I think this team probably has demonstrated this year that they have one of the best balanced teams that we're going to play. I think they've running the ball for almost 200 yards a game and throwing it for over 200 yards a game, and I don't think they're one-dimensional at all. I think they're a very physical team, and they're going to run the ball, and they're going to run it downhill, and they've got good backs and a good offensive line to do that. But I think their quarterback is playing extremely well. They've got great play-action passes that go, with their running game, and they've made a lot of explosive plays this year, with their skill players. So I think the combination of those two things is really what challenges the defense, not only up front, but also in the secondary.
I know it was a small sample size, but how did Cooper Bateman look in that sort of backup quarterback role on Saturday?
He did fine. He was only in there for one series, but I thought he did a nice job of moving the team and executed well.
You guys had Cam Sims named as one of the players of the league. What did you like about his performance on Saturday?
I thought Cam was a little more aggressive in the game and certainly played physical in the game, and we think Cam has played well all year long, but I think sometimes when you have an outstanding player like that, you always have high expectations for what he does, and He certainly did a good job of sort of fulfilling those expectations in this last game, and we were able to get some movement on the line of scrimmage and have the kind of balance that we want to have on offense as well.
You're in the middle with Alex.
Just wanted to ask you, what did you see from Tim, while he was serving his first half suspension and then afterwards in that second half?
Well, I wasn't watching them. I was watching the game in the first half, which I think is what I'm supposed to do. I didn't notice Tim at all. But when he got his opportunity to play in the second half, I thought he played really, really well. So he was excited about having the opportunity, and hopefully with the other things that we have him do, this will be a learning experience that will help him grow and develop habits that will be more beneficial to his future.
In the back with Joe. I think it'll be the last one.
Coach, you mentioned just a short time ago how important mental makeup is at the quarterback position. You've talked about how level-headed Jalen is. Was there a particular moment even before the season where you kind of realized he had that mental makeup?
I don't think you really ever know for sure that a guy has that mental makeup until he sort of gets in there under fire and see what kind of decisions he's going to make under fire. And I think the fact that Jalen fumbled the ball the first snap that he played as a college player, and then came back and played pretty well in the first game, and went to Ole Miss and got behind 24-3 or whatever the score was, and sort of worked his way back in the game and played better as the game went on. I think even last week we didn't get off to a very good start offensively in the first half, and he was not particularly maybe on target, would be a good way to say it, but sort of rallied and played a lot better in the second half and made a lot better reads and a lot better throws. So I think that those things he has demonstrated through his performance. It's not something that I thought he had the right disposition at the position, but you never know for sure until they get in the game and see how they respond when things go well and also when things don't go well.
We do have a couple more. We'll start here with Aaron and then Michael.
You've been complimentary of their quarterback. What have you seen from Austin Allen, and what kind of quarterback is he?
Well, he's a very good athlete, but I've been very, very impressed with his decision-making, his judgment, and his ability to make. He's got a really good arm, and he's made a lot of throws to the field, throws downfield, executes their offense extremely well, does a good job of faking on their play-action passes. So he's got the highest completion percentage, I think, of any quarterback in the league, and probably one of the highest efficiency ratings, I would guess as well, even though I don't look at stats that much. But he's a very effective and efficient player.
Finish up here with Michael.
About Eddie Jackson and his running style when he has the ball. What's it about his vision, the way he runs? Seems pretty smooth out there when he's got the ball.
Eddie's a very instinctive player. He's a very instinctive guy in just about all aspects of how he plays and what he does. And I think when he's back there returning the ball or he gets an interception, he shows some of those same instinctive abilities to make the right cut, the right choice, the right decision, how to set up and use his blockers, and those types of things. But the thing that on the punt return part of it that we have to do a better job of is we got to get the ball fielded all the time. There's been too many balls that are fieldable that cost you too much field position, and regardless of who's back there, I think we need to do a better job of that. Eddie's always showing great judgment, to get that part of it done. The number one thing on punt return is possession of the ball. If you can make a first down with the return, that's great. Change field position, and we want to make explosive plays on special teams, but we also don't want to give up field position because we're not making good judgments and decisions about fielding the ball.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.